All right, so thank you so much for coming to this 2025 Donor Thank-A-Thon training. So here's just a few tips that we're going to share tonight about when reaching out to donors and thanking them. So we kind of talk about a little bit about why we do it. We're really trying to build these relationships with our donors. There's this situation where we want to retain our donors. We don't want them to leave, or attritioning.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times when we reach out to our donors and show them some love, it really helps. It shows, commitment by our leadership. You all here on the call that they're actively engaging and recognizing the importance of a donor. And this helps to encourage people in their future giving. We have a timeline here. We're on time this year. Yay! So there's last week sent out a list of donor names to peruse over. There were about 5 to 7 donors there. And you have the entire month to reach out to donors, whether you choose to do it by email, phone, mail, things of that nature. Just ask that you keep notes about who you called, when you called, and any other information, feedback, or phone numbers, email, bounce back, email messages, all that kind of stuff. So when you're getting ready, maybe you're doing other things during the day, kind of get yourself put on a smile and to create that kind of positive energy, enthusiastic tone in your voice, or in your writing, or maybe even your pen when you're writing, or if you choose to type an email. And you have the entire month to reach out to your the 5 to 7 donors. Spreadsheets have been provided, but of course, if you have challenges with the spreadsheets, maybe if they're not opening or for whatever reason, feel free to reach out. And then if there are any particular speaking points you want to talk about with somebody, whether it's phone or in an email, feel free to share that. You can often talk about how you began at the organization or what the organization means to you. Things to say. Obviously, you greet the donor. Here is very warm. All of our board members are very warm, and then introduce yourself. Express sincerity for their support. And then we have some scripts created. However, feel free to use them however you'd like, edit them, use them at your discretion. Then actively listen if it is a phone call or if you do receive a response, and engage in a conversation. You never know what they may say. They may say something to you that are very different than they say to staff or to volunteers, other volunteers that they interact with. Invite them to stay connected with things in the future, like Over the Edge, which takes place on May 31st, or our annual meeting in October. If you connect with them before next week, we have our launch party on the 13th. Those are just some things that are coming up. There are a variety of others, our golf outing, and we have car treks and obviously lots of things going on in policy. Email sample scripts. So feel free to use this one as a jumping off point. If not, you can often create your own that feels more comfortable for you. We've created 2 here, that 2 samples to use. And here's a letter version if you'd like to use something like that. Sarah, this was, I think, yours last year. It was amazing. So I loved it. If you wouldn't mind me using that, I thought it was really great.
I'm sorry to interrupt. What would you put in the subject line? And I apologize for being late here.
Sure. That's a great question, Dwight, and welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you for your support from board member, or your name if you feel like, that's something you want to put out there.
So it doesn't end up in spam. We should probably include Highlands Coalition somewhere in there.
Sure.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's always a challenge. When sending a message, will go into spam or not? That's a really good observation, Dwight.
Mhm.
Some tips: smile. It really kind of sets the energy and the tone within your whole body. Other thing is, don't overthink. Just kind of sit there and be like, all right, I'm ready. And then be yourself and be genuine. Here's a call script if anybody would like to use to make a phone call. Hi, Michael. It's good to see you.
Hello. Hi, Michael. Hello.
So again, if you feel free to use any of these scripts um, to include in your communication with the donor. Here's some general talking points about the New Jersey Highlands Coalition. Many of you have been a part of this organization for quite some time. You probably know this like the back of your head, like many things. And so you can use any of these. Oftentimes when I'm making phone calls or I'm talking with people and I want to make sure I'm in the right space, I just print these kind of things out so I can see it. I know it, but I always went, oh, hold on. I just
Yeah.
make sure,
Excuse,
especially when I'm calling.
excuse me for interrupting. There's a typo on the second line there.
Oh, thank you.
Am-
Appreciate that.
Amplify. It's probably supposed to be
Amplify.
amplify.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm writing a note to myself.
It didn't register.
I will update this and send it out with the corrected. Thank you, Dwight, for bringing that up. And then the last thing is really the recording donor contact information, the name of the donor, the date you contacted the donor, the method in which you connected with the donor, how did the donor respond? And then the other option with this is if you received a poor email address, meaning it bounced back, a phone number, all this I'm going to enter into our database so that we have a record and so that we can keep our contact information correct as well. So this is really helpful. It also will show on our records as a touch point, so we know the last time this person was reached out to. It's also really helpful. So when I'm looking through donor records and I'm looking to see all the both their donations, how they were involved with the organization, this will also be in the record. It'd be very helpful. Sometimes people duck. Oftentimes this idea of rejection may come through. What is the worst that could happen? How would I recover from that? What is failure? All these kinds of things. But really, it just takes one step. You just envision the situation where failure, it isn't a concern. The idea is just to thank people. And so if there's any concerns with that, again, feel free to reach out. We don't want to make people to feel uncomfortable in any means, and fear, we don't want to we don't want that to overwhelm anybody. And other things to think about in terms of fears: refining your script, whether that means printing things out, retyping them, whatever methods work for you, if that's something that you find yourself stuck on sometimes. And then, writing down the reasons why you're reaching out. The idea of, what is it, 4 times you need to see something before you kind of penetrates the brain and you really absorb it. So if that's something that you find working for you, do it. And then of course, if you find yourself in the progress and there's some situation that arises, please reach out as well. And thank you for being a part of this. We really appreciate this. We do this annually. We usually do it in the month of February, the month that we feel is the month that shows most love. It's also the shortest month, and so it helps us kick off for other things that are coming up throughout the year. I'm going to stop sharing now, and if there's any questions.
Lauren, I have one.
Go for it.
the feedback that you would like us to provide. Would you like us to take that spreadsheet file that you sent with our donor information and then just add a column at the end and say, here's the date I made contact, here was any feedback that I got? And
That
then
would be
return.
wonderful.
Okay.
If that works for you, absolutely. That would be easiest. However, if that doesn't work for you, I'll take pretty much any format, whether it's an email that you write down, a
Uh-huh.
Word document, but whatever works best for you. But
Yeah,
the
that'd be
spreadsheet.
fine. Okay.
Quick question. Should we include a logo if we're sending an email, like a Highlands Coalition logo?
I'm not sure how, meaning,
I
would
think
that
that would
be
be helpful.
more challenging for the inbox to receive? Dwight, have you found that?
I have a logo on all my emails. It's just a small JPEG that I insert in Gmail.
Sure.
I don't think I'm not sure if I've had a problem. I don't think anyone's not received an email.
Then we'll
Yeah.
send a logo around. Absolutely.
Yeah, good.
Lauren, can you email us the slides that you've just shown?
Absolutely.
It would be nice not to be crazily taking notes here on your very, very helpful suggestions. Thanks.
Yes, we will send out this. Well, this is also a recording, so we'll send out the recording as well as the PowerPoint presentation.
What is our timetable on this?
You have a month,
In a month. So the deadline is,
February 28th, the last day of February.
okay,
Phone calls.
okay,
And it's not a leap year. So
Yeah,
right,
that was
okay.
And there's a lot of data in the spreadsheet. So if you have any questions about that, we did provide the amount they gave, the way in which they gave in terms of, was it a straight out donation? Was it for a holiday appeal letter? So you knew where this person was giving. And then around the date that they gave too. So a little information this time. If you did connect with this person, you had a little bit more information than just they gave.
So in this letter that we write, are we to identify ourselves, obviously as members of the board, or whatever capacity we're in? Should we be also mentioning other things about ourselves? Or just call ourselves members of the board?
That is really up to you. How comfortable are you with that? If you're open, absolutely. If you're not, you're like, no, I want to just be the board member of New Jersey Islands Coalition. Very much understand that.
Sounds good.
We good?
Is everybody feeling good about this? Excited? I mean, we've done it many, many
yeah.
times, everybody in this room. So I really appreciate that. And I love the ideas and thank you for all the feedback. This is great. I did mention it was going to be one of the shortest meetings you're going to be attending in the shortest month. So
You're here. We thank you for that.
Nothing wrong with a short meeting.
with that, I will update the slides and I will also send this recording to all of the board members. And I thank you again for participating both in this session.
Thank you,
and
Lauren, for all you're doing. It's just
Yeah, thank
great
you,
to have
Lauren.
you pulling these things together and doing a great job. Thanks.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
much appreciated.
All right, bye-bye, everyone.
bye, everybody.
All right, thank you. Nice to see you all.
You too.